A very strange tea party. Alice walks through the woods and sees a house. In front of it, under a tree, there is a tea table. 3 unusual characters are sitting there: the March Hare, the Hatter, and a small Dormouse. Everything looks normal at first, but only for a second. Very soon, Alice understands that this is not a normal tea party. The conversation makes no sense, time does not work properly, and everyone behaves in a very strange way. Alice is about to join the most confusing tea party in Wonderland. Chapter 7. A Mad Tea Party. There was a table under a tree in front of a house. The March Hare and the Hatter were drinking tea there. A Dormouse was sitting between them, fast asleep. The other 2 were using the Dormouse like a pillow, resting their elbows on it and talking over its head. That must be very uncomfortable for the Dormouse, Alice thought, but maybe it doesn't mind because it is asleep. The table was large, but the 3 of them were sitting close together at one corner. When they saw Alice coming, they shouted, "No room! No room!" "There is plenty of room," Alice said, a little annoyed, and she sat down in a big chair at the end of the table. "Have some wine," the March Hare said, kindly. Alice looked at the table, but she saw only tea. "I don't see any wine," she said. "There isn't any," said the March Hare. "Then it was not polite to offer it," Alice said. "It was not polite of you to sit down without being invited," said the March Hare. "I didn't know it was your table," said Alice. "It is big enough for more than 3 people." "Your hair needs cutting," said the Hatter. He had been looking at Alice very carefully. "You should not make personal comments," said Alice seriously. "That is rude." The Hatter opened his eyes wide but only asked, "Why is a raven like a writing desk?" "Good, now we will have some fun," thought Alice. "I think I can guess the answer." "Do you mean you think you can find the answer?" asked the March Hare. "Yes," said Alice. "Then you should say what you mean," the March Hare said. "I do," said Alice quickly. "I mean what I say. It's the same thing." "Not the same thing at all," said the Hatter. "That's like saying, 'I see what I eat' is the same as 'I eat what I see.'" The March Hare added, "Or saying, 'I like what I get' is the same as 'I get what I like.'" The Dormouse, still half asleep, said, "Or, 'I breathe when I sleep' is the same as 'I sleep when I breathe.'" "That one is true for you," said the Hatter. Then everyone was quiet for a moment. Alice tried to think about ravens and writing desks, but she didn't know much about them. The Hatter looked at his watch. "What day of the month is it?" he asked. Alice thought and said, "The 4th." "2 days wrong," said the Hatter sadly. "I told you butter was bad for the watch," he said to the March Hare. "It was good butter," said the March Hare quietly. "Yes, but there were probably breadcrumbs in it," said the Hatter. The March Hare dipped the watch into his tea and looked at it again. Alice looked at the watch. "What a funny watch! It tells the day, but not the time." "Why should it?" said the Hatter. "Does your watch tell the year?" "No," said Alice, "because the year doesn't change quickly." "Same with my watch," said the Hatter. Alice was very confused. She tried to be polite. "I don't understand." "The Dormouse is asleep again," said the Hatter, and poured hot tea on its nose. The Dormouse shook its head and said, of course," without opening its eyes. "Have you solved the riddle yet?" Alice asked. "No, I give up. What is the answer?" "I have no idea," said the Hatter. "Nor I," said the March Hare. Alice sighed. "You should do something better with time than asking riddles without answers." "If you knew time like I do," said the Hatter, "you wouldn't say that. Time is a person." Alice didn't understand. The Hatter explained that he had an argument with time during a concert for the Queen. Since then, time stopped helping him. Now it is always 6 o'clock. Tea time. "That is why there are so many teacups?" Alice asked. Yes, it is always tea time, so we never have time to wash the dishes. Then they asked the Dormouse to tell a story. It slowly opened its eyes. Once there were three little sisters. Their names were Elsie, Lacey, and Tilly. They lived at the bottom of a well. What did they eat? Alice asked. Trickle, said the Dormouse. That would make them sick, Alice said. They were sick, the Dormouse answered. Alice asked more questions, but the others told her to be quiet. The Hatter suddenly said, I want a clean cup. Let's all move one seat. Everyone moved. Alice got a worse seat. The Dormouse continued, saying the sisters learned to draw things that started with the letter M, like mousetraps, moon, and memory. The story made less and less sense. Finally, the Hatter was rude again, and Alice had enough. She stood up angrily and walked away. No one tried to stop her. The Dormouse fell asleep again, and the others didn't care. That was the stupidest tea party I've ever been to, Alice said as she walked through the woods. Soon she saw a tree with a door in it. That's strange, but everything is strange today, she said, and went inside. She was back in the long hall with the glass table. This time she took the golden key, unlocked the small door, and ate some mushroom to become small again. She walked through the passage and finally reached the beautiful garden with bright flowers and cool fountains. Alice leaves the crazy tea party more confused than ever. In Wonderland, questions have no answers, time can stop, and stories never make sense. But Alice is learning something important. If she wants to move forward, she must stop trying to understand everything. And now, at last, she reaches the beautiful garden she has been trying to enter for so long, not knowing that even stranger adventures are waiting for her there.